Let's first look at how the break of the green affects your putt. Outside of the putting stroke itself, there are two factors that account for the roll of the ball: green speed and the break. Green speed is measured by a stimp meter and given a stimp rating on the course.
Green speed is really all about feel, a stroke adjustment that most golfers make during the course of the game, as they become familiar with how fast or how slow the greens are playing that day.
But there is no simple adjustment for the break because it changes with every green you play. So what exactly do we mean by the break?
There are two factors involved in the break: the slope direction and the severity of the slope. Both of these are measured and displayed by the BreakMaster.
The slope direction is the downhill direction of the green at any one point. Often referred to as the fall line, this is the direction in which gravity is going to take your putt. For most of your putt, the stroke is the determining factor on where the ball travels. However, when the ball slows down as it nears the hole, gravity has increasingly more effect and your putter stroke has increasingly less. That's why the ball breaks the most as it nears the hole. The slope direction is indicated by the arrows on the BreakMaster display. Because of undulations, greens can have more than one slope direction. This is a map showing all the different slope directions on just one green. The dotted lines are the ridge lines on the greens.
You can see how the slope direction can take your putt in different directions in different parts of the green. If you're trying to do this by eye, it's easy to misread these subtle changes in slope direction.
The second factor of the break is the severity of slope, which the BreakMaster shows in degrees via the numerical readout. The higher the number, the greater the slope.
While in many cases it's possible to see the general slope direction, seeing the severity or the amount of slope is nearly impossible. You can see that the amount of slope can change a lot over the area of the green.
Since most golfers tend to underread the break, we'll now look at how slope severity can affect how much your putt will break. For our demonstrations, we'll be putting straight across the fall line at a right angle to the break. To make it consistent, we're going to eliminate the human factor and look at the pure roll of a ball by using Dave Pell's True Roller. The True Roller accurately rolls a golf ball a determined distance and speed. Putting on a very slight break under 0.5 degrees will have little effect on your putt. You can make a 6-footer by putting straight at the hole. But look how much a 1-degree break affects your putt. In order to make this 6-footer, if you putt straight at the hole, you'd miss by 10 to 12 inches. So you need to offset your putt direction, what we call the aim line, uphill those 10 to 12 inches. By adjusting the aim line, we're no longer putting at the hole, but at a spot 10 to 12 inches uphill. Aiming at that spot holds the putt. Let's compare that 1-degree break to a 2-degree break. In a 2-degree break, we need to adjust our aim line 16 to 18 inches uphill in order to make that putt. On a 3-degree break, we need to adjust even more, 20 to 24 inches uphill.
Once you use the BreakMaster and it shows you the subtleties of a 1-degree break versus a 2 or a 3-degree break and how much that break can affect your putt, you realize these differences simply cannot be seen with the naked eye.
Knowing the severity of the slope is just as important as knowing the break direction. These diagrams are included with every BreakMaster. It's good to study them to get to know the breaks and the amounts of offset. The other factor is your position on the green relative to the fall line. Not every breaking putt is going to be at exactly 90 degrees to the downhill line. Are you putting straight across the fall line, downhill across the fall line, or uphill across the fall line? Without using the BreakMaster, it's nearly impossible to know and determine your lie relative to the break.
By showing you the exact downhill break of a given putt, the BreakMaster allows you to see whether you're putting uphill across the break or downhill across the break. Uphill breaking putts will break less than putting straight across the break. Downhill breaking putts, known as the downhill slider, will break more than putting straight across the break.
So on the green, if you're putting uphill across the break, allow for a little less of a break. Likewise, if you're putting downhill, allow for a little more of a break.
The BreakMaster can improve your understanding of the green beyond human visual perception. With a little research, you can understand the best places to hit approach shots to the green, as well as the areas to avoid. Knowing the exact break direction using the BreakMaster is infinitely preferable to guessing which way the ball might break.